there, safecrackers, get your combinations ready because it is time for the Comic Vault, a vault of comics from which we are pulling a little 5-issue series called X-Men Magneto Testament. Yep, 5 issues, and let's get started. So, I have to say that this comic is relentlessly depressing. Relentlessly depressing. That's not to say that it's bad, I'm just saying that it's slightly hard to enjoy. I once had a professor, a screenwriting professor, tell me, torture your characters. I'm not going to repeat the word that he said, but torture the stuff out of your characters, and you will have some kind of story. I mean, if your story is about people who just kind of exist and do nothing of great importance and experience no trials and tribulations, then where's the tough times for your character? Where does your character have a chance to experience change? So here's where this guy is tortured. This story, for those of you who don't know, is set during World War II, and it's all about Magneto as a boy, or as a teenager really, experiencing the evils that was the Holocaust. And it's relentlessly depressing. Granted, I'll admit I've never really read the feel-good romp of the year that was set during World War II, or in a Nazi and, concentration camp. But it's just not very... Granted, there is the Great Dictator, but they're not really in the concentration camp. Why? Because it's a much more, evil setting. So, when you read a comic book about Nazis, or at least where Nazis are the villains, as opposed to the heroes, because when are they ever the heroes? But they shouldn't be. When you read a comic book where Nazis are the villains, generally it has something to do with people finding the strength to defeat the Nazis. Captain America picks up his shield and beats up a Nazi. The Destroyer goes out and destroys a Nazi tank or bomb or whatever. But in Magneto, X-Men Magneto Testament, it's really about a guy who is surviving. Now, I expected, throughout this entire book, I expected to see Magneto at some point lose it and then fully understand his powers and then just destroy some Nazis. I fully expected it. It doesn't happen. Sorry for spoiler, but it does not happen. That's not what this book is about. So for those of you who are thinking about picking up this book, I think you should know that. I think you should know that from the get-go, that Magneto does not use his powers to just straight up destroy anybody. Magneto doesn't use his powers offensively. He doesn't even use it defensively. How Magneto's powers really tend to manifest is he likes to make jewelry. He uses it to find coins. He senses metal, and he's good with metal, and he knows where metal is, and it helps him survive. I mean, he can go and walk by a gutter and say, I know there's a coin down there. So he can help his family. He can go out and buy a little bit of bread so that his family can survive. Because if there's one thing that I think this book is pretty good at, it's having a historical perspective and understanding that, understanding what the Jews went through. And the thing about it is that a lot of the things in this book happen back to back. Now that might be because it spans a certain period of time that's longer than what general traditional stories do. But anyway. Traditional stories. Stories can expand any expanse of time, however they feel. But this is maybe a little more expansive. Anyway, the events happen pretty rapid fire. The characters experience the awful things of World War II back to back. And as soon as these guys try to escape to Poland, Poland is taken over. And it's just one step after another, just bad things happening to people. And the father character is so endearing because he is so strong and he tries so hard and he tries to give people the benefit of the doubt. And throughout the entire book, you just look at this father character and just just like a great sadness wells up in your heart, because here's a guy who's trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. He's trying to say that we're all humans here, we're just in an extreme situation. And granted, he doesn't actually say those words, but he's trying to make the best out of a bad situation, and it never gets good for them. Of course, it's the Holocaust. It wasn't, it's not going to be good. These characters, it's just people trying to survive. This book isn't about finding strength to defeat people. This book is about finding strength to survive. Finding what it takes to do what you have to do to get by. And sometimes I guess you have to morally compromise yourself. There comes a point in this book that even some of the Jews in the internment camp, in the concentration camp, they are incapable of not experiencing some kind of anger here, and their cause becomes even more important than, say, another Jew's life. So these people are just desperately trying to survive, and it's so sad. And it's now some of the other things, some of the interesting things, is you get to see this takes place before a lot of the Holocaust happens, and then leads up to just after the Holocaust happens. So you see Magneto as a boy who, his name's not Eric Lencher in this, and I'll admit I sort of forget what his name is, but I always go Eric Lencher, and then they'll say his name, Max, and I'll say, wait, who? Max is Magneto? But so I always do that. I just expect it to be Eric Lencher, but it's not. It's Max. So these people are. I would recommend this book. You're not going to sit down and just enjoy it. It's not that kind of book. It's not the kind of book that you would sit down and read to pass the time because you want to have a little bit of escapism. This is a fairly harsh reality. It's just scary stuff, and it's not designed to startle you. It's not that kind of scary, but it's really it's extremely sad, and it's good. It's written by Greg Pak, for those of you who liked Planet Hulk. Greg Pak is a terrific writer, and he does a good job on most of the things that he tries to do. But yeah, I say check it out. X-Men Magneto Testament. It's a 5-issue series by Greg Pak. And Greg Pak, and the other guy's name is Carmine D. Domenico. I don't know how to say his name, but anyway, you guys can look it up. I can't pronounce it. I will say that I really enjoyed this man's artwork. I mean, the only downfall of the artwork is that sometimes the character faces look a little bit too similar. So sometimes even some of the men and women look a little too similar. But usually the characters who are intended to be the main characters, they are very distinctive among the other people. But sometimes their faces get a little molded together and you can't tell who's who. But molded together. You can tell that there are two different characters in the scene, but the people look a little bit the same. Anyway, I do recommend it. I highly recommend checking it out. That's it for the Comic Vault today, guys. But guess what? You can buy stuff from the Comic Vault. That's right. All you got to do is go to wearegeeksnotnerds.com and click on the Comic Vault. That's right. All you got to do is go there and buy some stuff and have a good time. It is a vast and ominous, huge and unknowable. It is quite a lot of comics. It's not small. And also, you can donate to the Comic Vault or donate to Geekvolution in general. Send us whatever you like. At our P.O. Box, Geekvolution, P.O. Box 14183, Lenexa, Kansas 66285. So, thanks for watching the Comic Vault, guys. We'll catch you later.